Hello and welcome to this live demonstration of the new features and improved workflow with Elementor hosting. My name is Ash and I am the Global Community Content Manager here at Elementor. We also have Igor and Celine in the chat, both on YouTube and Facebook. So wherever you're watching from, be sure to ask any questions that you have about Elementor hosting and they will be happy to help you out. So what will we be covering in today's session? Well, just in case you weren't aware, Elementor Hosting has recently implemented several improvements, all of which will significantly boost your website's loading time and also improve your workflow. These features are advanced caching, staging, page duplication, improvements to the custom domain connection and also the email domain connection, and also a new reset website option. Now, we'll go through each of these one by one, so don't worry if you're not 100% sure what each of these are. We'll explain it all soon. So first up, we'll take a look at the advanced caching. Now, caching is designed to improve the loading time of your pages and posts. By enabling advanced caching with Elementor hosting, your website's HTML will be cached and served instantly from our Global Content Delivery Network, or CDN for short. This includes static files such as images, videos, JavaScript, and CSS. But how does caching work? Well, by storing frequently requested data in a cache, the server no longer needs to regenerate content every time a page is loaded. This, combined with the power of our CDN, ensures that your website loads quickly and efficiently from over 285 locations worldwide. Now, let's take a look at how this works with Elementor hosting. Now, just give me 1 second to arrange my screens. And I'm going to share. So here we are in my Elementor dashboard where I've got several websites set up. And to get to the section that we need to get to, again, just bear with me, we are going to open one of our websites in the WordPress dashboard. Just give this a second to load. Okay, so here we are in the Elementor dashboard, in the WordPress dashboard. And if we head down to the settings area, we'll now see a new option called Elementor hosting. And this is what we're going to select here. And this will open up our advanced caching settings. Now, these will be switched on by default with all new installations. You can also disable them if you do not wish to use them, which is the first option that we see at the top here. I'm obviously going to leave them enabled. We then have a cache timeout. Now, each of these configurations has a very helpful explanation underneath, just in case you forget what they are. But by default, this is set to 7 days. So this is the frequency which the cache will automatically be deleted and then make sure that the content remains fresh. So every 7 days, the cache will be updated to display the most recent edits. The next section we have is exclude from cache. Now here we can enter URLs, so the relative paths of the URL. So this is everything after the .com or .co.uk or .net, whatever it is you might be using, for specific areas of your website that you do not want to be cached. And this could be very individual. It could be anything to do with dynamic content, so maybe something WooCommerce related. But if you do have a page or a section on your website that you definitely don't want to be cached, okay, this is where you will specify the details there. And then the section underneath here is the always clear from cache. And again, we have a really good explanation underneath this section. So these will be included in the cache, but will refresh every time you make any update to your site, regardless of what the timeout is. So if you always need to display the most recent information on a particular page or section on your website, this is where you will enter that relative path. Okay, so you would just paste it in here. And then the final option we have is a clear cache button, which we can click just down the bottom here. And then finally, we have the save changes as well. So alongside the clear all cache button that we have in this particular section, we do also have an option in the toolbar at the top of the website here. Hopefully you can see my mouse just wiggling around in the top right hand corner here. And really that's all there is to it. Okay, so with the new advanced caching settings, okay, you're just going to want to spend a few minutes just working through this configuration. Okay, I would recommend taking a speed report before you do these changes, okay, and then one afterwards so that you can compare the two. And that's exactly what I did when I set this website up a couple of days ago. So I'm going to switch tabs to this GT metrics report. So this is the first report that I received, okay, without any caching enabled. And whilst it's not the worst that I've seen, it's definitely not the best either, and it needs there's room for improvement. That's what I'm trying to say. So you can see that we're getting a score of a B and a performance score of 76%. And if I scroll down to the, in fact, sorry, let me zoom in a little bit here for you guys. If I zoom down to the performance metrics, okay, we get a little bit more information. The FCP, for example, is 1.9 seconds. And as you can see, GT metrics recommends that that should be 0.9 seconds or less. The speed index is also a little bit over as well, the 1.3, the recommendation. And also the LCP as well is a little bit over. And the time to first byte here as well is 1.6 seconds. So definitely room for improvement. So what I did was I enabled the cache. Okay, I let everything update, and I then ran the report again. And if I switch over to this one, and again, if I zoom in, as you can see, we're getting much better results. Now, just to give you some clarity on this particular website, it's an Elementor kit that I installed from the library, and it does have WooCommerce installed on it as well. And whilst it's not an active shop, okay, this is just a demo website, it does have WooCommerce, the WooCommerce plugin installed. So it's not just a bare bones website. There is other stuff going on there as well. And yeah, as you can see, we've got lots and lots of green, which is always great to see. And if I jump down to the performance metrics, you can see that we are well within the recommended timeframes there, which is great to see. So less than 0.4 seconds for the FCP there. The speed index is good. The largest contentful paint is also very good. And the time to first byte is very good. So some great results there. Using the new advanced caching features. So that concludes the first feature that I'm going to showcase today. Again, just bear with me while I arrange my screens. I jump back here. Now, the next thing that we're going to take a look at is the new staging feature. Now, before we get started with this, I just want to state that the staging feature is currently available for the business, the scale, and the grow hosting plans, okay? But what is staging? Well, the staging feature allows you to create a duplicated version of your website in a separate environment where you can test new features, make changes, and troubleshoot any issues affecting your live website. So this prevents errors or downtime on the live site and streamlines the website development process. So again, let's take a look at how this works with Elementor hosting. And I'm just moving screens all around here, but just bear with me. I'm going to share this one again. So here we are again in the Elementor dashboard, and I've got a couple of websites set up here, which I'm using as my demos today. And if we go to the manage this website section, okay, and then scroll down, you can see that we have this new staging environment area here. Now, creating a staging website really is simple, and all we're going to do is click this create staging button. It's going to ask us, or it's going to inform us, okay, what this is doing exactly. And it's telling us that it's somewhere that we can test out our updates, new plugins, okay, without affecting our live website. So this is extremely valuable for anybody that manages a website. We now have a way to test absolutely everything, even if it's just a simple content change, or whether we are installing a new plugin or applying an update. Okay, we now have a safe area to do that in. We can test everything before it's live to our customers, to our viewers. So I'm going to click I've read and understood the terms here, okay, and then I'm going to click create staging. Now this part here is very dependent on how big your website is. Obviously, if it's a very large website, this could potentially take a few minutes. If it's a small website, it will probably be a little bit quicker. But luckily, I'm going to leave this just running for now. Luckily, I've already set up a staging site on a different website, which is this one here. So I'm just going to jump out of there and into this one. Now, when your staging website has been created, you will see it in the list just here, okay? And from this screen, we are able to delete our staging environment if we so wish, and we will always be warned when we click anything like that. So don't worry if you accidentally press it. I'm going to press cancel because actually we do want to jump into this. But to get into the actual settings of this staging environment, we're going to click the Manage Staging link here. And you'll now see this this kind of yellowy, orangey bar at the top of the screen here. This indicates we are in a staging area. Okay, so this is definitely something to take note of. It's obviously quite an obvious message because it says you're in a staging environment. But if you see this color, just know that whatever screen you're on, you are working with a staging website. As you can see, the staging website has a unique URL, so stg- at the beginning of our Elementor Cloud domain name. If we scroll down, okay, we see some general information about our staging environment. Again, we have the URL, when it was created, has it been pulled, has it been pushed, is it active, that type of thing. And then we get to the staging actions, okay. Now, each of these, when clicked, okay, will give you a warning and a little bit more information. So if you feel free to play around with this, okay, you will need to confirm before anything actually happens. So don't be afraid to click these. But basically, in a nutshell, the first option we have here is push to live. So this will push all of our changes to our live website. So if we've created our staging website, we've made the changes we want to make, whether that's a plugin update or content amendments, that type of thing. If we're happy with what we see, we know it works fine, we can come along here and click push to live. The next option is pull a new staging environment. So you may have created a staging environment on day one, for example, but perhaps you haven't actually done anything to it, or you haven't done as much as you want to that staging website, but you've actually made changes to your live website. This option here will allow us to pull any changes that we've made to our live website to our staging website. So an extremely helpful feature here. And again, when clicked, it will give you a little bit more information and it will ask you to confirm that you want to do that. And then the final option we have here is to delete our staging option. So the same as the option that we saw on the page before. Now, what does this look like in WordPress and in Elementor? Well, if we scroll to the top of the page, we can open up our staging website in the WordPress dashboard. So let's click that now. Excuse me. And again, we'll just give this a second to load. And here we're seeing that orangey yellow color at the top here as well, which is indicating that we are in a staging website. So definitely something worth taking note of, okay? If you're confused as to why you're seeing this strange colored top bar, okay, it's because it is a staging website. Now, this website is an identical clone of our existing website. So if I open this up on the front end, okay, we're going to see everything that we have on our live website. But any changes that we make here, so if we jump over to a page, for example, let's open up the home page. We'll open up the Elementor editor. Any changes that we make here, okay, so we could, whatever it might be. I am a freelance UX UI designer, and then click update. These changes will only be applied, okay, to our staging site. And if I refresh this, you can see that text amendment that I've just made there, but we are in our staging website at the top here. Okay, so you can always rest assured knowing that any amendments that you've made are showing on the staging website only. Now, once you've finished making any amendments or doing any tests that you want to do, you're just going to jump back into your Elementor dashboard, okay, and then you're going to use the push to live option like so. You're going to confirm that you're happy for all of these changes to be pushed live. There's also a disclaimer there that the website will be offline whilst those updates are being applied. And again, this is going to be very dependent on the size of your website. If it's a very large website, this will take a little bit longer. If it's a small website, it will be much quicker. So we're just going to click push changes, okay, and then this will just take its time to push that website to live. And there we have it. That concludes the staging features now associated with Elementor hosting. The next feature that we're going to take a look at is the page duplication feature. So what is this? Well, with just one click, it allows web creators to quickly duplicate pages, ensuring that the same design, layout, content, links, and other settings are accurately copied over. It sounds simple, and it is simple. Now, hopefully, we all know that with our WordPress installations, we should ideally use as few plugins as possible. And I'm sure many of us have some type of page duplication plugin installed on many of our sites. It's crazy to think that we need a whole plugin just for such a simple task. So with Elementor hosting, this feature is now built in natively, meaning that you do not need an extra plugin for this functionality, and it is going to save you a lot of time and increase your productivity. So let's take a look at how it works. So again, just bear with me while I move my screens around. So here we are again in the Elementor dashboard. We are going to open one of our websites into the WordPress dashboard. Just let this load. And as I mentioned earlier, Igor and Celine are in the comments section. So any questions that you have about these Elementor features, these Elementor hosting features, please do add them to the chat. Again, just bear with me while I'm waiting for the dashboard to load. Okay, sorry to keep you waiting there. Here we go. So here we are in the WordPress dashboard. Now, this works in a very similar way to any kind of page duplication plugins that you may or may not have used in the past, but all we're going to do is head over to the pages section. Now, when we hover over one of our pages, we see this more options link. So we're going to click the downward arrow, and this is going to give us a load of options, okay? But the one that we're interested in here is the duplicate page option. And all we're going to do is click this. This is then going to duplicate the page, and then it's going to prompt us. Did I click that? And then it's going to prompt us to rename. Here we go. It's then going to give us an option to rename the page. So we could call this about version 2, for example, and then we're going to click done. Now, it will save it as a draft, so we will need to go into Elementor and make any amendments that we would like to that page and then publish that page. But that really is it. It's as simple as that. We're just going to click the drop down arrow, duplicate the page, rename the page, and then away we go. We're ready to make any changes to that page. So this will hopefully save you all a lot of time when it comes to recreating pages that are very similar with your website projects. Okay, so let's now talk about domain names. So we've got some improved workflows here with the domain name connection, and having a custom domain name is an important aspect when establishing your brand identity, giving your website, a professional appearance. It makes your website easier to remember, and it can also improve your website's SEO ranking as well. Now, every website hosted on Elementor does come with a free Elementor address, but you can also connect your own custom domain to have a unique address. Elementor offers a feature called Custom Domain Connect to make the process of connecting a domain name to your hosting account easy. So we're going to check out this very shortly, and we're also going to take a look at authenticating our email for better reliability. So with a custom domain connected, we can now also connect the email account to that as well, which will improve things, which will improve aspects when sending emails from your website. So it's quite common for emails that are sent from websites to land in spam folders and that type of thing. And taking steps like this will definitely help improve that. Now, disclaimer, this section is pre-recorded. I needed to hide some of the sensitive information in my account, so I can't broadcast that live. So I'm going to play this for you now. And this is how we go about establishing a custom domain name and authenticating the domain name, the email address as well.
Elementor hosting dashboard, I'll go to websites and select the Manage this website button located in my websites, which will open the site details screen from the Manage Domain section. I'll select the Connect My Custom Domain option. Then when the screen refreshes, it'll ask me to enter the name that I've purchased. I'll enter that here and then select the Let's Begin button. The system will detect that my domain was purchased at GoDaddy, and then it will allow me to select to continue, to sign in, or to continue manually. I'll select the first option since it's the simplest way. Once I select the button, a pop-up will appear on my screen that will prompt me to first sign into my account and then authorize the connection from Elementor to alter the records. A message will then appear to let me know that it was a success. Then I'll select close. Once the window's closed, there's one final step. I need to select the Connect My Domain Name link, and that's it. The process is now complete. I then need to wait for the domain to be populated to servers around the globe, and I will then receive an email when the process has been finalized. It's now time to set up the email authentication so that the forms on my website are sent from the proper domain name. I'll once again return to the dashboard and then manage my site settings. I'll select the Authenticate Your Email link on the dashboard. Once this is done, a page will load with the next steps. The final steps of completing your authentication is done following the on-screen instructions in your account dashboard. During this process, you'll sign into your domain registrar, edit the DNS records, and then accept the connection afterwards. This process can take up to 72 hours on some occasions, but is usually much faster. You will receive a notification when it's ready. And then my forms will then send email from my custom domain name.
Okay, and there we are. That is the overview for the custom domain name connection and email authentication. So the final feature that we're going to take a look at today is the reset website option. Now, the reset website feature is a powerful tool that helps to simplify the process of resetting your website. While it should only be taken as a last resort, it can provide especially beneficial options to web creators who may need to begin the website setup process from scratch. So if you need to reset your website, take advantage of this feature and make the process even simpler and less stressful. And let's check it out. Let's see how this works. So again, we're going to jump into the Elementor dashboard, and we are going to go to manage one of our websites. And this is super simple. We have these 3 dots in the top right corner. Hopefully you can see my mouse here. And we're going to click this, and we just have the one option here, and that is reset website. And again, if you do happen to click this by mistake, you will be prompted to confirm that this is what you want to do. But as you can see, it says to you, this means you'll start over with a fresh site with default WordPress settings. All plugins, pages, posts, users, media assets will be removed. Visitors will see site under maintenance until the process is complete. So if this is definitely what you want to do, you're going to say, I've read and understood these terms, and then click the red reset website button. And again, this would take a few minutes depending on the size of your website. But once complete, okay, you will then be able to go through the setup process again, and then just start to build your website. And there we have it, a very quick overview of the exciting new features included with Elementor hosting. So be sure to let us know what you think about these features and share with us your experiences with them as well. We really like to learn as much as we can from you all. So be as vocal as you like, okay? Thank you to everybody watching, and also to Igor and Celine and everybody else in the comments that's been helping today. Let's continue the conversation though. Okay, let's keep it going. Even if you're not watching this video live, please add your questions, comments, concerns, suggestions to the comment section. We monitor them all of the time, and it's extremely helpful for us to provide a better service for you guys. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.